Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you made it well through week one. Just be mindful that anytime you're learning a new software, it can be frustrating. It's certainly time consuming, but I promise the more time you put in, it will certainly get easier. It'll just make sense suddenly. Okay. So rather than just copying and kind of mimicking my exercises, I like you to really think about vocabulary and why certain tools work a certain way. And that'll help you to kind of develop your own way of thinking about accomplishing a certain task using the given tool rather than using it the same way that I'm using it. So, anyhow, I hope you enjoy it. And let's get to week two. Let me give you a quick peek. In week two, in your assets folder, you're going to find some exercise files, and these are the things that we are going to be working on, or at least I'm going to give you a direct demo on. You will find an Illustrator file called Pentool exercise. That's this file that you see on your screen. And then you'll have some homework, and you're going to be recreating these projects. Just be mindful that on the homework, I don't need you to create all, what is this, 50,000 trees, but I need you to do a significant amount where you feel comfortable doing them. And frankly, if you're going to be an architecture student, trust me, these things are going to be helpful to you when you're using Revit or AutoCAD or even creating a site plan for your presentation. It's going to be great in your assets library. So let us start with the exercise file. What you're going to do is you're going to open up the Pentool exercise, and hopefully this will be a really quick demo. So what I'm going to do, or what you'll see, is you'll see three layers here. One is called the trace layer, and I created another layer called hint just to get you guys started, and that's just this kind of base right here. We'll get to that later. And then layer three is where I want you to start doing your work. So here, I want to introduce you to the nuances of using the pen tool. It's a really great tool, but it could also be very frustrating because unless you understand how the nodes work or the anchor points and the way how the handles work, it could be like completely a different foreign language that you have no clue what's happening. So hopefully this tool will kind of introduce you to the pen tool and kind of give you a primer on the capability. So on a pen tool, when you click and just click, you'll create a straight line. Click and click. But if you click and drag, you'll create a curve. And then I'm going to click and drag somewhere here. And I'm kind of doing this from scratch, so hopefully it works. And this is not working very well, but you know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to click here so that it finishes that curve. Now I'm going to come in here, click, because I want a straight line, and I'm going to click and drag to create this curve. And if I click now, you see how the curve is kind of still trying to go like if you're driving a car along this curve, and it doesn't want to make that sharp turn. So what you do is you're going to hold down the Alt key, which temporarily gives you this anchor point changer tool or handle changer tool. I'm going to grab this handle and I'm going to yank it this way, saying, hey, start the curve going up. And you can see now I could actually recreate that kind of a wave. And again, you see how it wants to make a big old curve. I'm going to grab my Alt tool and I'm going to move the handles down in the direction where I want the curve to change and do that. And then again, I can't get a straight line here, so I'm going to hold down this thing and oops, if you don't get that handle perfect, and then I'm going to just put it on that path, and then I'm going to put, oh, I guess I got out of the tool, so I'm going to just click here, and then now it's a straight line, so I'm going to hold down my shift so that you're guaranteed to draw straight lines. So this exercise looks simple, but I promise you, you're going to have some issues creating this. But if you do it more and more, it'll be more intuitive. Oh, and then I'm going to go back and fix this curve now because I just have to grab this handle and just kind of adjust it. All right. So anyhow, you're going to do that. And another way to recreate the same shape is to really just create the anchor points and then change the characteristics of the anchor points. So we're going to start off with just a pen tool, and you can just turn on the hint. So you're just going to create major points. And for me, when I'm drawing free-flowing pen shapes, the least amount of anchors that you have, the more clean and smoother your shape will be. Okay, so here I'm going to cheat. Obviously, I'm going to hold down the shift button so I don't have to kind of fix it. Okay, so I'm going to just do that. Turn off my hint layer. Oops. Yeah. All right, so this is fine here. Oh, sorry guys, I'm doing undo, because every time you click, when you have the pen tool, it'll just create a dot, and sometimes you'll see dots. Like you can see a dot here that I created by accident. So if you see a lot of remnants, that's because you were just randomly clicking. So I'm going to go to the pen tool, hold it down, and click on the anchor point tool. I'm going to click this anchor, and then I'm going to click and drag. And I'm going to create, and I'm just basically telling that anchor point that you're no longer like a straight vector line point, but then, rather you are a curved vector line point is what I'm saying. And then I guess I can try to take and then I can do that, but you can see I'm not really getting that shape, right? That shape is probably going to come from this anchor pulling it this way. So again, I'm going to take my anchor tool, click that anchor and drag this out and get that, and then get this anchor handle and adjust that. Now how do I adjust this? Well, if I select this, and you'll see like little nuances that I'm doing. I'm going to try to slow down and explain. Sometimes I'll go to the direct selection tool up here, or I will go to this anchor changing tool, and it'll go, you're just going to have to get used to kind of figuring out the sequence. It's intuitive thing. I'm sorry I can't really articulate that very well, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that path. When I select that path, Illustrator tells me what is making that path that shape. It's only showing me this anchor tool. So then I could take that and do that, but you see how it changes the other side also? That is because this node is a curve anchor, not a point curve anchor like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my Alt button. In this case, I got to go to the anchor tool because I want to change the characteristics of the anchor. I'm going to hold down my Alt button and change that thing and kind of make it in line with that path. And that makes that straight. So again, I'm going to go to my direct selection tool, hit this anchor, and it's a straight anchor. So then I'm going to go here and I'm going to pull that anchor and make it a curve. And then I'm going to hold down Alt to change the direction of this handle to do that. Okay. And then I'm going to hold down the anchor point here and pull it just to make it a double curvature. And then I'm going to adjust the top anchor. And in this case, kind of cool, it already became a point anchor. So again, I'm going to click on this path and then go to my anchor tool and change the direction of it. Click on that path, go to my anchor tool, and there you go. So it's pretty close. So, again, you guys don't have to be perfect in line with all the dash lines. I just wanted you to get a feel for how to change the characteristics of the anchor tool, change the direction of the anchor tool. You could also go to the anchor tool, for instance, go to the selection tool first, select the curve, and then I'm going to go to the anchor. And you could actually just click the anchor and it'll make it a point. You see that? And if I click this anchor again, instead of making it a curved, I'm going to call this, my vocabulary, a cornered curved anchor. I can click it and it'll just be a straight anchor. So you could flip it, and do virtually whatever you need to do. All right. So hopefully you guys can take some time to practice this exercise. I would really recommend you do it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times until you really get the subtleties of clicking on the direct selection tool, the white arrow, versus an anchor changing tool. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.